Heir to the proud tradition of short track racing in the Los Angeles Basin, the Irwindale Speedway opened its gates in 1999, following the closing of the famed Ascot Speedway 9 years earlier. Fans and competitors couldn't have dreamed they'd have it so good. While Ascot was a gritty dirt track that harkened back to the oldest traditions of short track racing, Irwindale is clean, modern, and filled with amenities for drivers, crews, fans, and sponsors. The facility features banked half-mile and third-mile oval tracks and a state-of-the-art must-go lighting system that makes racing at night just like racing during the day. A Bose sound system ensures that everyone in the 15,000-seat grandstand can hear the announcer over the roar of the racing engines. Late model stocks and legend cars are among the large number of classes that compete regularly at Irwindale. Others include USAC midgets, sprint cars, super modified, super late models, trucks, and mini stocks. While locals call it their hometown short track, Irwindale draws national attention for two of its annual special events. As the inheritor of short track racing tradition in Southern California, Irwindale hosts the legendary Turkey Night Grand Prix, a series of Thanksgiving weekend races for midgets and sprint cars that goes back to the 1950s. And since 2003, the half-mile oval has hosted the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown. Tonight, it's the IROC Challenge Shootout, and it's next on IROC TV. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, broadcasting here with IROC TV here at Irwindale for the first race of the season, the non-points race. It's a shootout. This is going to be a fun one to kick the season off, hopefully with some excitement. It's our first broadcast here at Irwindale Speedway, so hopefully lots of action to call for all of you watching tonight across all the platforms, IROC TV, HBR TV, and the like. Many of them out there, many options, of course, but if you can, we would appreciate it. Jump over to youtube.com/@HBR TV and the number 1. Give the feed a like. It certainly does help out the channel. Practice still underway here. Just a few minutes remaining. Aaron Smith, top of the board. Trying to work out some kinks here. There we go. Still some kinks. Hang on. And there you have it. Tonight, the shootout, the IROC Challenge Series. Going to be a 100-lap feature. Again, practice just about wrapped up here. Hour-long practice session. Minute and a half remains. Aaron Smith, your fastest. Kevin McCann, second quick. Not showing any kind of deficit there. His lap time technically about 100th shy of Aaron Smith, though with the rounding errors, who knows. Practice just about over here. 10 seconds remain. Aaron Smith again top of the board, 18.44. Kevin McCann matching that time. Honeycutt with an 18.47. Brian McCann a 59. And the 00 of Koch at 18.63. Neil Quick running the same lap time. He's sixth quick, 18.63 for the 2 as well. That wraps up the session as far as practice goes. We're going to jump right into qualifying. We'll see who takes to the speedway first. Got a 10-minute session to get it done. 5-minute session followed by a 10-minute warm-up. Aaron Smith first to roll. Aaron gets the piece of the wall there on his out lap. Aaron Smith crossed the stripe, 18.53, goes top of the board. Brian McCann with a 55. He's in the fence on lap 2, so that's going to be about all he's going to gather. Brandon Mefford, number 83, he's on the track, getting ready to take the green, if not already. .735 for Mefford his first time around, and he also gets the fence. That's going to negate any kind of time he's going to put down. Doug Wysocki. Doug a 19.03 on his first lap. Lap 2, 18.968 puts Doug on the 8th position for now. Trevor Quick on the speedway in the number 5. Oh, trouble on exit. Big impact. That's going to do it, though. 18.901. At least he got one lap in. He's going to be 8th position. Adam Johnson on the speedway. .929 for Johnson. That's his best lap, only lap of register. Going to start 11th, it looks. Brian Honeycutt just finishing up lap 1. Lap 2, 18.679. Actually pretty consistent across both laps. He's going to start P5. Handful of drivers not taking a time just yet, but looks like Larry Bruner is going to give it a shot. Number 44. Now, IROC's been around a while. They don't always run the same vehicle type. They've run trucks, they've run next-gen Cup cars, Gen 6, Xfinity. Now we're going to go throw it back a bit here. They're going to run the Gen 4, which is what we're looking at right now. It's effectively an ARCA car with a whole boatload more power. Bruner's first lap, a 19.161. Lap 2, slipping and sliding. Not going to be quicker, it seems. 20.551. Under 10 seconds remain in the session before we call it official. So that's going to wrap it up. Again, a handful of drivers opting not to take a time just as of yet. That's okay. They're going to start from the rear. So with that, we've got a 10-minute warm-up session. We'll jump aside here, get some break out of the way here, and we'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Yes, he did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short...
just don't know where that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy, brother.
Back at Irwindale Speedway for the IROC Challenge Series shootout on the pole position with a lap time of 18.536 seconds. It's the 70 of Aaron Smith. Outside front row, missed it by 14 one-thousandths of a second. It's the 3 machine of Brian McCann. Row number 2, it's brother Kevin McCann starting third in the number 33 with Garrett Johnston, the number 32, starting fourth. Ryan Honeycutt starts in the 5th position while Neil Quick starts P6. Mike Koch will start in the 7th position. I don't know if it's Coach or Koch or Coke. We'll figure it out at some point. Brandon Mefford starting in the 8th position. 9th goes to Jeff No. Trevor Quick in the 5. He'll start 10th. Adam Johnson, the 02, starts 11th. 12th goes to Doug Wysocki. Starting in the 13th spot, it's the 23 of Cook Quick. Larry Bruner in the 44 starts 14th. 15th is Tim Schofield in the 12. Stan Carnathan, the number 88, will roll 16th. Jaden Hopp in the 4 starts in the 17th position with Matt Kopp in the 22 starting 18th. Dan Pinkston, the number 19, will start 19th with Doug Thomas, the number 47, starting 20th and shotgun on the field. It's your starting grid for the shootout from Irwindale. Field starting to roll here. We're going to hit 2 pace laps before we take the green flag, but it won't be long. Don't go anywhere. Fun little short track here at Irwindale Speedway. Let's see how these Gen 4 Cup cars, how well they can put the power down and roll through the corners. And they look like ARCA cars, folks, but Gen 4 Cup Series, we're talking 800 plus horsepower under the hood as the pace car pulls off and we get ready to go green. Barney holds the green. Green flag waves, and we're underway. Lap 1 in the books, and it's a photo finish to the line to see who leads that first lap. I don't know if it was McCann or Smith. It was that close, right at the stripe. Either way, McCann working the outside. He takes the top spot into turn number 3. Aaron Smith relegated back to P2. Kevin McCann 3rd. Johnston 4th. Honeycutt 5th. Ryan Honeycutt, the number 18. Not quite sure why it's not displaying his number in the tower. We'll work on that for next week, but so you know, Ryan Honeycutt, car number 18. Running in the 4th spot, battling with the 32 of Garrett Johnston. Makes short work of the 32. Up into the 4th position goes Honeycutt. Brian McCann still with the race lead over Aaron Smith, but Aaron not giving up an inch. On board with Aaron Smith. This is the driver's eye cam, thanks to Whiplash Sim Cams for providing the custom camera packages for tonight's race. And all season long here with IROC. Brian McCann maintaining that top spot, but slips just a bit, opens the door for Aaron Smith, not wide enough to drive through. Well, Doug Thomas, slow. I don't know if he had an issue on track. Oh, he is up in the fence. I don't know if he's just trying to draw a caution here or what the situation is, but nevertheless, I believe that series does have a live admin tonight, so they're not going to trick iRacing into throwing a yellow here. Doug Thomas still down low. Meanwhile, loses a lap. Ryan McCann still with the race lead over Aaron Smith and Kevin McCann. Those are your top 3. 10 laps in here from Irwindale. Tim Schofield, checking on him. He's running back in the 18th spot. I don't know if he had something to do with the 47s incident, but let's go back. It says Tim didn't crash on lap 7. Oh, yeah, just gets real loose. Tank slaps it a bit, spins it sideways on the front stretch. Nobody collected him, so that wasn't anything to do with the 47 of Doug Thomas, but there you have it. Schofield trying to maintain his position on the lead lap. He's going to have to hustle for a while here, hope for a caution. Brian McCann, though, still out in front. Just keeping a little bit of distance ahead of Aaron Smith, but not by a whole lot. Very interesting, this short track. This driver is really sticking to that high side. Curious to see if that changes throughout the course of the afternoon. This battle continues to be the one to watch. Just a few feet between the 3 and the 70. Well, I heard some noises in the fence there. Jaden Hopp possibly getting into the wall. A little bit of left rear damage on that machine. Take a quick peek at that. See what happened with the 81 battling in behind Doug Wysocki. Oh, just gets a piece of it. That part of the wall juts out just a bit. Got a little too close, and, well, there you have it. Keeps it on the racetrack. We stay under the green flag, but again, he's going to have to fight hard to stay on that lead lap. The 47 to Doug Thomas is going down another lap. Still don't know what happened to Doug exactly. Oh, Brian McCann gets a piece of the wall, drove it in a little too deep. Gets back to the power. Aaron Smith had to check up as well. He wasn't able to take advantage of that rare mistake out of Brian McCann. Still a tight battle here within the top 3. Aaron Smith is in the middle of a McCann sandwich. Brian out front. Kevin out the back door. Approaching some lap traffic once again. 20 laps in here from Irwindale.
Caution is out.
Yeah, we do have a caution now.
Talk to me, Goose.
Wick, I'm not sure if it was Larry Bruner. Cook's on the pit lane. Bruner is backwards on the speedway. That's going to bring out a yellow for sure. Number 44 in trouble here. Lap 23. Some front end damage on that Chevrolet. Let's go back and take a look at it and see what happened with Larry Bruner. Oh, it just doesn't get back to the power very quick. The 55 kind of runs him over inadvertently. Kopp gets a piece of it as well. 55 machine was Jeff No. Roof cam and Jeff No. Let's see how it looked from his perspective. Interesting. Maybe it wasn't the 55. Maybe it was the 35. No, it's the 55. think we got more than one. 55? No, there he is. Well, nonetheless, that puts us under the caution flag for the first time tonight. Drivers leaving the pits. Handful of drivers stay on the racetrack. Brian McCann, Kevin McCann, Neil Quick, Trevor Quick. Some others as well. Doug Thomas into his pit box. Matt Kopp with some nose damage received in that incident. Got a piece of the 44. So it's looking like the top 4 drivers opted to stay on the racetrack after the first 24 laps. Lap 24 effectively when everybody else behind them took the opportunity to pit. Hopefully they've got enough pace to hold off the fresher tires. Didn't get a chance to see exactly what the fall off was going to look like, but we're going to find out pretty soon here. This pace car is already off the racing surface. We're getting ready to go back under green flag racing. Into the restart zone, green flag waves, and we're underway. Brian McCann out to the early lead over brother Kevin. Honeycutt up to third, at least he was until Neil Quick took it away. Still side by side for the position, swapping it back and forth. Honeycutt in third, Quick in the 4th position. Still out in front of brother Kevin. The 3 and the 33. Honeycutt putting the pressure on Kevin McCann, though, but across the stripe, Brian McCann last lap, a 19.24, his best of the day in 1871. We'll have to look at the lap times of the drivers that did make a pit stop. Aaron Smith took fuel only, it looks like, so we can't really use him as the example, but he ran a 19.15 the last time by. Honeycutt, though, getting ready to make short work of both McCanns. He gets past the 33 of Kevin, and he's battling for the top spot with Brian out of turn number 2. Down into turns 3 and 4. Honeycutt, your new leader, coming to lap 32. Made it work. Best lap for him was an 18.66 on the day. His last lap, while trying to make those passes, an 18.85. Mind you, he does have fresh tires underneath him, so he's going to be on a tear here. Going to put some distance between himself and the rest of the field. With a few of those drivers opting to stay on the racetrack, kind of gambling a bit, waiting for another caution, maybe get another opportunity to bolt on some fresh tires later on. As it stands on the night, they only have 2 sets of tires available to them over the wall, so a little bit of strategy involved here. Some guys opting to take them very early. I would bet that they're going to try and throw at least 50 laps of wear onto those tires before they bolt on another set. But again, cautions may have something to do with those decisions as well. Things relatively unchanged here within the top 3, but the battle for 4th between Neil Quick and Garrett Johnston. Quick has the 4th position for now. Garrett trying to take it away. Garrett does have fresher rubber underneath him, so he's going to make short work of Neil Quick as well. Move Quick back into P2. Aaron Smith scrapes the right side in the fence. And Aaron Smith did hit pit lane for fuel only. A 6-second stop for the 70. Did not put any tires on. Place is a real challenge for these race cars with this much power. It's very difficult to get that throttle down to the floor. Got to be gentle. Push a little too hard, it's going to come around on you. Those rear tires will not respond the way you want them to. Brandon Meffert running in the 9th spot behind Adam Johnson. Double zero of Mike Cope running in the 7th spot. Adam Johnson now in 9th as Matt Kopp has gone back into the 10th position. Brandon Mefford just ahead in 8th. Mefford trying to push forward. Mefford alongside the double zero, trying to go around the long way. It seems to be the preferred line here at Irwindale. Gets the job done, clears the double zero, move Mefford up into 7th. Meanwhile, Ryan Honeycutt, 2 full seconds ahead of 2nd place Brian McCann. And we'll see if those tires equalize over the course of the run or if the old tires just keep getting older. Mefford going to start to work on Neil Quick. I don't know if Neil overdrove it on entry, but he does get the right side into the outside wall there. I thought he was going to let Mefford go, but seemed like a very small mistake for Neil Quick. He slides up the racetrack, slides back in position. Brandon Mefford on the move. We started to watch him. He was running 9th, and just a few laps later, he's up into the 5th spot. Right on board with Brandon Mefford, see how he gets around this place. Gentle on throttle. I wonder if they're even getting flat out here at all once the tires wear out. I feel like they're not going to be able to use that power that this car produces. Sounds like he's getting close to wide open, but not quite. Mefford with some space out in front. Clear sailing for the 83. Can just turn some laps, be consistent here, see if he can reel in the 33 of Kevin McCann. As Garrett Johnston has taken over the 2nd spot. That has been a big change. Remember, Johnston does have fresher tires on his machine as well. Kevin McCann do not. Brandon Mefford, he stopped as well at lap 24. Neil Quick did not. Seems like those drivers that gambled to stay out really paying the price for it right now. Ryan Honeycutt looking pretty good right now. 2.4 seconds ahead of the 32. Just cruising, trying to save his stuff. Again, he took tires at lap 24 as well, but he's going to have to be careful. He's got probably another 25 if he wants to try and make it to the end on just those 2 sets of tires. I suppose if they had to pit right now, if the yellow were to come out, I think he'd kind of be in a position where he would, I don't know, he'd have to make that decision. Take tires or not, that's completely up to him. I'm not really a great strategy guy when it comes to that kind of stuff, but given how long some drivers have gone on their tires at this point, 4 of those drivers at least, they could certainly do it. Just would it be beneficial? Again, with the fall off being what it is. It's not horrible though. Brian McCann still maintaining that 3rd position on the oldest set of tires he started the race on. Lap time in 1976, Honeycutt 1948 the last time, so we're pretty close. 2.5 tenths a lap slower than the leaders on the oldest tires, where those guys are only 25 laps fresh. Kind of got to wonder if those handful of guys that opted to stay out, maybe they've got this thing figured out. Guys like both the McCanns, Aaron Smith, Neil Quick, those guys are great with strategy. Time will tell. Past halfway, so we're getting close. With that, though, we're going to take our first HBR, I'll say HBR TV side-by-side. That's an old habit. We're still HBR TV, but we're broadcasting with IROC TV. So we're either way. We're going to take a side-by-side. Stay with us, folks. You won't miss a minute of the action. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Irwindale Speedway for the shootout, Ryan Honeycutt maintaining the top spot over the 32 of Garrett Johnston. That gap 4 seconds as he starts to reel in Aaron Smith. Aaron, the last car on the lead lap here, as we are at lap 66. Remember, Honeycutt took tires, Aaron did not. There you have it, Honeycutt to the inside, going to put the 70 a lap down. You don't see that very often. Doug Thomas is going to hit pit lane. Honeycutt looking stout still with 33 laps to go. Still very impressed with Brian and Kevin McCann, though, running 4th and 5th on the original set of tires they started tonight with. They got 2 sets over the wall. I kind of think they might be kicking themselves at this stage for not taking a set at lap 24 when they had the opportunity under the yellow flag. You pit now, your race is over. There's just not enough time to make it back up. As it is, 4th and 5th, about a half lap away from losing a lap regardless. Lap times for Brian McCann, a 20 flat the last time. Honeycutt was a 20.17, but he was in lap traffic. Now he runs a 19.77 with 30 to go. They ran on a 75% maximum fuel load tonight as well, so curious to see those that haven't pit at all. Do they have enough to make it to the finish? And those that pit at lap 24, is it enough to get them to the end? I got to think that those that made their stops already at lap 24, they were within a window maybe to do so. Aaron Smith, again, he took just fuel on that stop, so maybe he knows something that a lot of guys don't. Didn't take tires, again, it was fuel only, as we've already had the field lapped up to P10. So really the top 9 currently still on the lead lap. Honeycutt on a tear. I'll be closing in here on Neil Quick shortly. Quick about 17 seconds behind the race leader. When they're running 20-second laps, it won't be long. Cook Quick officially in the number 23, but no number on the door of that machine. Brandon Mefford running in the 3rd spot. Mefford having a good day. He's up 5 positions. Aaron Smith finally to pit lane. So with 25 laps to go, I know Aaron Smith, we talked about him making his early pit stop for fuel only. It answers the question, can they make it to the end? Clearly not, because he's in pit lane. Obviously, oh, is he just done for the night? Nope, maybe not. He jumped out of the car for a brief moment. Still jumping out. Maybe he is done for the night. Tough break for Aaron Smith. If he's dealing with some mechanical issues with his hardware, we're just throwing it in, as this one's not a points race and his chances of winning are pretty much out the door, as he was off the lead lap. Honeycutt still with the lead, though. He's been there since we've gone back to the green flag after our one and only caution of the night. Most of the drivers out there did take an opportunity, lap 24, 25, for at least fuel. Lots of them took tires as well, Honeycutt being one of them. Garrett Johnston still hanging in the 2nd position. Brandon Mefford in 3rd. Brian McCann back into the 4th position. It's an interesting take here in the IROC series. These drivers all have their own paint schemes, but for the most part, they're a generic IROC paint scheme with Spartan Transportation on board. But in looking at Brandon Mefford's paint scheme, I cannot help but think, man, does the front of that thing look like an old GM Goodrich Service Plus paint scheme? You'd think Brian McCann would have stolen that one right off the bat, but it looks like Brandon Mefford got to it first. Mefford looking for P2 here. He's right to the back bumper of Johnston here. Coming to 17 laps remaining. He's side by side out of turn number 4. Another lap or 2, he's going to have it. Both these drivers on relatively equal footing as far as tires are concerned, but Mefford a little bit faster, about a 10.5 the lap last time. Johnston over-rotates it just a bit, can't get the power down, and Mefford takes the 2nd spot away with 17 laps remaining. So the question still remains, can Honeycutt make it to the end on fuel? Doesn't appear that he's trying to save anything. It's tough to do at a small track like Irwindale. It's not impossible, but it's not ideal, and caution is out. Brian McCann in trouble.
Tank or bar or anything like that?
Brian McCann in trouble here with 16 laps to go. Puts us under the caution only for the second time tonight. Let's get a look at it. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I mean, at first glance, it looks like he just got to the power too much, but that's not a Brian McCann thing to do. Let's go on board and listen. No, he didn't even put power down that hard. It just broke loose on him. Around he goes. Tire's certainly not happy with Brian McCann. He's been on those since they took the green flag initially. I guess now is going to be the question, who pits and who doesn't? I guess who can afford not to? I don't know. Honeycutt's going to come down from the race lead. Man, he was looking at this thing hoping he'd get the win out of it. I don't know if he was going to make it on fuel, but looks like everybody else is going to come down here with him. Brandon Mefford, Garrett Johnston. Mike Coach stays on the racetrack. Coach. We'll have to get that one figured out. Honeycutt fixes it. Fast repair available for the IROC series. Johnson in the pit box just ahead. Here comes Kevin McCann around. He's going to hit his spot. Brian McCann, after lazy spin, he's going to take some tires. Honeycutt's down and away, so a lot of these guys took the opportunity to pit with him. I think he's going to be just fine. Mike Koch stays on the racetrack. I don't necessarily understand this. I know Mike pit at lap 24, but I don't know. The fall off there is just too great. He's going to get eaten up real quick. You run a higher chance of spinning the rear tires on the restart, jamming up the field behind you. It's not a points race. This is the shootout, so there's just out here for wins. I guess the same can be said. That's why I stayed out. I wanted to get the win. I wanted to try. I wanted to see what happened. So I guess it makes sense. It's going to be exciting to watch. That's for sure. Got Kevin Feemster in the stream chat. Was a little late catching it, but says this is pretty cool. Kevin, thanks for checking in, man. I hope you're still watching. So we're formed up 2 by 2. Getting ready for the restart here. Barney's got the green.
Green flag.
We're racing. And you saw it right then and there. The 00 slipped the tires just a bit on power. Slides up the racetrack, pinches Johnston up into the wall. Kevin McCann goes to the point in that melee. Johnston's going to fight back to the inside. 10 laps to go. Kevin McCann topside, Johnston on the bottom. Garrett slides in behind Kevin McCann here for that second spot. 9 laps to go. Honeycutt finds himself back in the 4th position. McCann putting some distance between himself and the 32 already. It's over half a second since the restart. Honeycutt making a move to the inside on the 0-2 of Adam Johnson. That's going to be for the 3rd spot with 7 to go. Man, I don't know if he's got enough time to work his way through there, especially on fresher tires, or fresh tires for all, for that matter. He's really going to need a yellow to come out here, get another crack at it with a restart, but getting in the wall like he just did, that's not helping either. 6 laps to go. Kevin McCann still stretching it out over Garrett Johnston. Brian McCann back in the 5th spot, just ahead of Matt Kopp. Brandon Mefford had a strong run going. He took tires as well, but he's back in the 7th position, now battling with Neil Quick, but I don't think Neil's on the lead lap anymore. No, he's not. Neil, first car, 1 lap down in 13th. Now Cook Quick, the first car, 1 lap down, but not for long as Neil takes it back away from his brother. 4 laps to go from Irwindale. Kevin McCann just walking away. Mefford still in the 7th position. Would have liked to see Brandon get closer to the front here and battle with these leaders. Coming to 1 lap to go, though. Kevin McCann into turn 3, looking for a white flag here off the next corner. Final lap for Kevin McCann. Down the backstretch for the final time. What a way to start the season out with the shootout here at Irwindale. Kevin McCann off at turn number 4. Sees the checkered flag. He takes the win. Garrett Johnston's going to finish second. Ryan Honeycutt, a disappointing yet strong 3rd place. Kevin McCann out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, takes the checkered flag. Carnage after the race. There's cars everywhere. Kevin McCann burns them down here on the front stretch. We're going to step aside, get a final break out of the way. We'll have our top 3 finishers in the booth after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Irwindale Speedway for the Shootout, the opening race of the season for the IROC Challenge Series. Get this fun one out of the way. Kevin McCann, your race winner, the number 33. Let's pull Kevin into the broadcast booth and get a word with our race winner. Kevin, it's Steve in the HBR TV, IROC TV booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Kevin, congratulations, man. Started in the third position. Thought you guys kind of euchred yourselves there on that first pit stop. Only a handful of you opting to stay on the racetrack, but you got lucky late, got the caution and some fresh tires. Whole new race for you. Talk about the plans, the strategy coming into tonight, and the run to the finish.
Yeah, I didn't really have a strategy. It was first time in the car, so that's why I messed that strategy up so bad. I didn't expect the tires to fall off as much as they did. That's why I didn't pit that first time. I thought track position was going to be more important, but man, it just got to where around lap 50 or so, it was a struggle just to keep it on the track. I think that's when my brother ultimately self-spun or something happened there, because it was just all I could do to not wreck, basically. Go ahead.
Well, we were watching Brian McCann on that caution. I said, well, that's very uncharacteristic of Brian. Maybe he just hammered the throttle in frustration, but we rode on board, and he barely touched the gas and came around. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were like 10% throttle, and you had to hit it at the right point or you were going to go around. It was terrible. But, yeah, I got fortunate there I'm not sure what happened up front. I thought I was in fifth when the caution came out, but I'm not sure what happened. But anyway, I restarted third. And I saw some guys, I think it was Garrett or Ryan had pulled that move where on the restart you go down to the apron, and saw it work out for them a couple times, just pull that slide job. So I said, you know what, I've got nothing to lose here. So on the restart, I was on the bottom lane. I just threw it down there and hope it stuck. And, once I got out front in clean air, it was smooth sailing.
Well, great job for sure. You take home the checkered flag. Anytime you can get the car for the first time and take home a win, that's a job well done. So congratulations. Looking forward into next week, of course, we start the regular season out at Daytona as we typically would. How do you feel about your chances out on the super speedway?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this car drives on the super speedways and the draft and stuff. I feel like, super speedways are always a pretty good strategy race. And if, you could tell from tonight, strategy's probably not my best thing. So just gotta, try to pull something together and hopefully be there at the end next week.
Well, Kev, we're excited for it, man. Congratulations. Good luck next week. Before we let you go, who do you want to shout out to?
Yeah, just shout out to the sponsors of the league, Spartan Transportation and R&R Racewear and 5-Star Graphics, and shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast.
All right, Kevin. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
It's Kevin McCann, your race winner here at Irwindale. Next, we're going to pull Garrett Johnston up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our runner-up. See what he has to say. Garrett, driver the number 32. It's Steve in the HBR TV, IROC TV booth. You got us? Garrett, you got to unmute. Garrett, it's Steve in the booth. You with us? All right, looks like we've got a permissions issue with Garrett. Let's see if we can figure that out. All right, we can probably chat in here. No, Ryan Honeycutt's in there. We got to find Garrett Johnston. Paging Dr. Johnston. All right, let's try this again. Garrett, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. I got you now.
All right, there we go. Didn't even know that was an option, so thanks for filling me in on that one. Congratulations on the runner-up finish here. You had some pace out there tonight. Anything you could have done different to reel in Kevin McCann with those short amount of laps we had left?
Oh, I probably could have practiced a little more than joining right before the session, and I probably could run this car a little more often. But I'll take second any day of the week for not running this car very often, and especially the first time in the series. So we'll take it.
So I've personally only run this car just kind of messing around in test sessions since they came out with this Gen 4 version of the Cup car, basically the ARCA body with tons of power. you said you didn't put a whole lot of practice in, but what was the way you had to drive this thing around this place? You know, in my opinion, driving it, at least listening to you guys in the in-car cameras, you were never really wide open at any point, were you?
Yeah, you could go wide open for probably 10, 15 laps on the straights, and if you did that, you're probably going to burn off your rear tires. So to go on those long runs like we had, yeah, you're right. You had to be probably about 60% to start off, and I think someone else touched on it as well. And once you got super late into those runs, you're probably cruising around at 15, 20% throttle down the straights, just trying to get there and then trying not to slide the rears any more than you have to.
Well, tonight's certainly a great way to start the season off. Obviously, the car takes tender, loving care to get it around just about anywhere. Next week, we go out to Daytona International to really get the season kicked off. Plenty of power under the hood with these cars. How do you feel about your chances on a super speedway next week and how they may handle in the draft?
Oh, you know, I had some practice there last week with these cars, and it's a totally different feel. You know, it's kind of the exact opposite. You can go on long runs pretty easy, and you might not even take tires every time. Whereas, you know, driving around tracks like this, you're scared to death about the time you get 30 laps in. But you know, they always scare me because you're always waiting for the big one, and you know, I've had good and bad luck, and hopefully we have good luck next week.
Possibly qualifying going to be the most important part of the session next week. We'll have to see how that plays out. Garrett, again, congratulations on a P2 finish here. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, thank you very much. Hey, you know, shout out to my dad and aunt, grandma, everyone watching at home. I know they enjoy watching just as much as I enjoy racing. And yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting and putting the series on. And yeah, hopefully we have a lot of fun this season.
All right, Garrett. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week at Daytona.
All right, thanks. Have a good night.
It's Garrett Johnston, your second place finisher here at Irwindale. Next, we're going to go to Ryan Honeycutt. He is waiting in the interview waiting room. Ryan, it's Steve in the HBR TV, IROC TV booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Ryan, dejected is the voice I'm hearing right now. You had this thing, what I felt, locked up. I don't know if you had enough fuel to make it to the end, if it continued on green, but a dominant performance for the better part of the race. Walk us through what happened. Was there anything you could have done differently strategy-wise that could have ended up in victory lane?
Yeah, I could have just used my head, opened my eyes, and realized that pit exit was closed and not got a penalty. So, had the freaking race won. I could have closed my eyes for the last 15 laps and still won the race, but caution came out and I just wasn't thinking, and I drove right through a closed pit exit and had to start at the rear. So yeah, you'll have that whenever you don't have a big brain.
First race of the season, get the cobwebs out of here, get the rust beat off there. We're going to roll into Daytona next week. Certainly different style racing. How do you perform out on the big tracks? Obviously you're fast here on the short tracks. How do you fare at the super speedway?
I don't know. I'm pretty good at normal super speedways, but it's old Daytona, so it's going to be a little bumpy, and it's going to definitely going to have to drive it. It's not just going to be wide open, turn left. It's going to mess with the handling of the cars, and I definitely see some big wrecks happening with people getting loose, but hopefully I can just figure out, you know, a way to quit choking stuff and finally win something.
Well, as far as Daytona is concerned, being the old layout and going to have to drive the thing, are tires going to be a concern next week?
I'll tell you about lap 20 next week.
All right, Ryan. Well, again, good job at a third place finish, even with the penalty. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Just Johnson Racing Media on YouTube. We make vlogs of real life late model racing out at Hickory and some other tracks. So just check out our vlogs over there, and you know yeah, that's about it.
That's all you can do, Ryan. Good luck next week, man. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Ryan Honeycutt, your third place finisher, man. He is not happy, and I can't say that I blame him. He had this thing locked up. I don't know that he was going to make it all the way to the end on fuel. I don't know if he knew that or not, but a simple error, leaving a closed pit, got the penalty, still managed to come home in that third position. So either way, a job well done. He's got to hang his hat on something positive there. A top three finish, even with the mistake. Knows he should be holding a checkered flag here, and it just didn't pan out the way he expected it to. So with that, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top three drivers, Kevin McCann, Garrett Johnston, Ryan Honeycutt in the top three. Brian McCann finishes in the 4th position after his spin that brought out our second caution. Then Adam Johnson in the 0-2 was 5th. Matt Kopp finishes in the 6th spot. Brandon Mefford finishes 7th. 8th goes to Mike Koch. Coach. I'll have to figure it out. Jeff Noe was 9th. Tim Schofield 10th. Stan Carnathan was 11th. Neil Quick 12th. Cook Quick was 13th. Jaden Hopp was 14th. Trevor Quick brought it home in the 15th position. 16th finisher was Doug Wysocki. Larry Bruner was the 17th place finisher. Aaron Smith, who was fast early on, didn't make the rest of the race, was out here 26 laps down in the 18th spot. Doug Thomas was 19th, and Dan Pinkston finishes out 100 laps down in the 20th position. Looks like Pinkston is actually our race admin, so I don't think he even took the green flag, nor would he, because, well, he's the live admin. We'll work on getting him out of the race results for next week. That's easy to do. No worries. Either way, it's good to know they work with a live admin, so that's a plus. But those are your race results here from the shootout at Irwindale. Thank you guys all for tuning in. First time working with Restream here. That's was a bit of a challenge tonight, but we'll get it a little more consistent and clean for next week. Any apologies go out to you guys for putting up with my issues here early on, but nothing too serious. I just want it perfect. Can't always be that way. But again, thanks for watching, guys. And in future broadcasts, feel free, jump in that stream chat. I got to get that worked out as well. We'll try to be as responsive as we possibly can with it. I really do like hearing from you guys that are watching, your take on the race, who you're cheering for, where you're watching from. That's the biggest thing. We've been international in many cases in some of our broadcasts, so it's really cool to find out where you guys are tuning in and watching these races. So it's going to about do it for us here at HBR TV. Congratulations to Kevin McCann. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Thank you guys all for watching. Join us for the next one. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.